During a marathon session on Thursday, lawmakers in the U.S. Virgin Islands have approved legislation that will establish a sixth constitutional convention, paving the way for the development of a new draft constitution. The Sixth Constitutional Convention of the Virgin Islands will be responsible for either crafting an entirely new constitution using the Fifth Constitutional Draft or adapting the almost 7-decade-old Revised Organic Act of 1954 as part of the territory's constitution. The Fifth Constitutional Draft, if utilized, would have to be heavily modified to eliminate the several areas which did not meet the approval of the U.S. Congress, which described them as unconstitutional. Some of those provisions included a measure to exempt from property taxes Virgin Islanders whose family have lived in the territory from 1932 or before, as well as a stipulation that only native-born Virgin Islanders could run for the office of governor or lieutenant governor. For this reason, among others, former Senator Myron Jackson, among the list of testifiers during Thursday's session, says he was not in favor of using the Fifth Constitutional Draft, noting that it was the culmination of 5 failed proposals.
So we have made changes to the Organic Act over the life of its existence. I do believe that it's a method to get where we need to go. It may not be as fast as some of us would like it. After 5 constitutional convention and its dormancy, until this bill for the referendum came forward, we were just nowhere in reference to it. So we are moving in that regards, and we should consider that progress.
Jackson instead suggested revising the Organic Act, after which provisions from the Fifth Constitutional Draft, which were not disallowed by Congress, could be included as amendments. Unlike the former senator, president of the Fifth Constitutional Convention, Gerard Luz James II, supported his team's work and proposed that the members of the Sixth Convention work with the Fifth Constitutional Draft, despite Congress's wish to have certain portions amended.
We have a legal document here. It's the right for the people to really be given the God-given right for free representation. And that has not been done. And if we continue the way we're going, you and I are going to die, and we ain't going to be around here anymore. And it's going to just keep like a snowball rolling down and get more and more bigger. We have to do the right thing. We have a legal document. Let's work with what we have. Don't just throw it up to the side because you have someone who says no, that Congress, how can Congress dictate? Then they're not allowing us to really do what we want in terms of putting a free document together to represent the people of the Virgin Islands.
Gerard Emanuel, a delegate of the Fifth Constitutional Convention, shared similar reasoning with his president.
We have seen what happens to past constitutions. And if we continue to do the same thing, that's madness. Yes, I agree with former President James that the Congress and the President can't tell us what to do with the document. But they raise issues showing that constitutional concerns existed. Yes, they suggested that we bring it back to the territory and vote on it. But the convention didn't do that. We had an opportunity to do that. If you read the document properly, that was what they were saying. They came back, they said the same thing with Reagan on the 4th. Go back and vote on it. But then if you vote on it and it's accepted, it's going to be subject to constitutional concerns. So now we're saying that we should have dealt with the 5th. We had an opportunity. Why didn't we deal with it when we had the opportunity? That's the elephant in the room everybody's trying to avoid.
The first Constitutional Convention was established in 1964, tasked with creating another Organic Act. Subsequent conventions have been created to draft documents that would amend the extant foundational legislation of the USVI. Thus far, all have failed, either because the ratification process did not reach a 50% plus 1 turnout of registered participating voters, or at times where the minimum numbers have been reached, residents were voting against the proposed changes.
This we hear again and we hear again. It is okay to be here again. Every country and island in this region and this world was there again and again and again until we get it right. And I think I mean it. So the 6th convention must happen. We need a level of political maturity.
Following the Senate's passage of the legislation for the 6th Constitutional Convention, the bill will go to the desk of Governor Albert Bryan Jr. for signing, and then the U.S. Congress, and ultimately President Joe Biden. Then, constitutional commissioners in the USVI will be delegated, likely 7 from St. Croix, 7 from St. Thomas, and 1 from St. John, who would begin to amend the Constitution. The new draft will then be presented to residents of the territory for a vote in a referendum.